I'm gonna make a video on the system that I've developed for busy guys that are trying to be productive, lose weight, get in the best shape of their life, look great, prioritize being lean over, trying to hit the gym all the time and work out like madmen. And this system works, man. It's the same system that I've been helping all kinds of guys with. It works. I like it. They like it. This car that drove by me, interrupted my video, likes it. But it works, and it all complements each other. The training and the nutrition and the style that it works are killer, okay? So I'm gonna walk through the training aspect, I'm gonna walk through the nutrition aspect, and I'm gonna give some added benefits of how it all kind of integrates, how it kind of all interlocks to really just form the perfect routine. Because it's not like a system. I mean, it is a system, but it's a routine in which all aspects of fitness, health, lifestyle really are like the perfect thing for that guy who's a busy entrepreneur, lawyer, banker, doctor that really wants to prioritize health, wealth, mindset, and have a routine that serves all aspects of their life. Okay, so first aspect is our training. So I call it 2-day shred training. So this style of training is low volume. Why? Because most people, like bodybuilder style or people that lift kind of or want to start a workout routine, they start usually lifting really, really hard. They start hitting the cardio, they start hitting the weights, doing all this stuff. But if you're trying to lose body fat, trying to get lean, trying to look better, it's actually not conducive. Pause. So the training system itself is 2 days. Right, and I was talking about how people always crush the gym, they crush the cardio, all this stuff, but it actually is not good for getting lean, not good for losing body fat. Why? Because the goal of losing body fat is to get in a calorie deficit. More protein, less calories. If you hit legs, go do me a favor. Hit 10 sets of deadlift, go run a marathon, and then try not to eat. Really hard, okay? It makes you crave more food, because you're expending lots of energy, you're taxing your system, and it's making your body crave food. It wants glucose, it wants carbs, it wants all this stuff. So by lowering the volume of your training and focusing on maintaining your strength, maybe even increasing strength a little bit, but not trying to go crazy with the pumps and the volume and all this working out, because reality is if you're trying to lose body fat, optimize for losing body fat. Don't try to go 10 different directions at once, because if you try to progress on all fronts, you progress in none. If you try to water 1,000 plants, all of them die because you run to one side of the field, water the plant, and you try to run back to the other side of the field. It all just falls apart. So what's the focus? The focus is losing body fat. And just because the focus is that now doesn't mean it can't be something else later. But optimize for losing the body fat. Optimize for getting lean. Okay? Now this style of training, it's 2 days or 3 days. I prefer 2, honestly, because the goal is not to gain muscle, right? The goal is to maintain muscle. Maybe increase strength in key areas, but go 2 days. Compound movements, right? Not like deadlift or back squat. I'm talking about dumbbells. Dumbbell bench, split squat, maybe a little bit of hack squat. And when I say this, I just mean hit the compound movements so you can get in the gym, hit a couple sets. Like say we go in for workout 1 and it's incline, dumbbell bench, lateral raises, split squats, RDLs. So full body workout. Next workout, do some pull-ups, do some rows, do a little bit more lateral delts. Maybe hit some accessories on that day too. You'd be surprised how little it actually takes to maintain your muscle, your MV. A lot of people are in that MAV zone, but they don't actually touch the amount of volume that produces a stimulus. So a lot of times they'll increase their MEV, their minimum effective dose, to the point where every week they're kind of just burning energy, fatiguing for no reason. And I think if you're not actively trying to build muscle and progress, you should be in a constant state of just maintaining. And you should know that. Am I trying to maintain, or am I trying to actively build? Or am I trying to lean down? And just by knowing that, it's going to be helpful. And I think that's why so many of my guys have been successful, especially guys that have lifting experience and struggle to get very, very lean, or guys that struggle to lose body fat. Because number one, they haven't had much experience with fitness in general, but guys that really want to look better. And that's what I'm good at. It's helping guys look better. That's what I'm good at. And this style of training really, really helps, lubricate the process of body fat. And I'll tell you what, one thing that the training does that really also lubricates it is it allows you to sleep better. Think of all the early mornings and the late nights at the gym and all this time you're spending. It actually messes up your sleep as well. So these extra hours, these extra days, right? The lifts are usually 3 days apart. So Monday, Thursday, or a Tuesday, Friday, or a Wednesday, Saturday. The lifts are so far apart, you give yourself 3 days to recover between each session. Each session, you're going to go in there, you're going to crush it. You might actually find yourself getting stronger. Why? Imagine you took a week off lifting. If you've never taken a week off lifting and you've been lifting for more than 10 weeks, probably overtrained. Take a week off. Go back into the gym. You'd be amazed at what you see happen. Your central nervous system needs 3 days to fully recover. That's what we do in this program, right? We want to optimize for recovery. We want to get more sleep. Between each workout, we're going to get more recovery. 3 days. Monday, Thursday. Imagine you just worked out Monday, Thursday. Imagine you only had 30 minutes to get all your intensity for the weekend. How hard would that workout be? How effective would that workout be? That's the point of this program. That's the point of what we do. Quality over quantity, right? We don't want to work out just for the sake of working out. That's what people do. They work out just for the sake of working out. I don't want to be an assault rifle. I want to be a sniper rifle, efficient, fast. We got shit to do. We're busy. This is meant for people who actually have things to do, not spend all day at the gym, right? If you have all the time in the world and you can figure it out, you probably don't need any help. But my program's for guys who need some help, right? Because they got other more important shit and they don't have time to be programming out workouts. But it's 2 days, and that's the gist of the program, right? 2 days, strength, and the point was sleep as well, right? Because if you're working out 2 days, you're spending that extra time that you would be spending at the gym doing cardio, blah, blah, blah. You're sleeping. You're resting. Okay? And this leads me into the second aspect of the training. 2 days shred, 2 days strength with steps. So 2DSS, you could call it, with steps. I'm walking right now. It's a part of this program that I've actually permanently implemented into my life. Again, a lot of guys do all this heavy lifting. A lot of guys do all this excess activity, this movement that's actually not necessary. Lift, quality over quantity. Prioritize maintaining muscle, the compound movements. Prioritize fast, efficient sessions that allow you to maintain your muscle, build some strength, and to use lifts that allow you to track the strength pretty easily. Barbell movements, dumbbell movements. You know your strength. If your strength's not decreasing, your muscle's not decreasing. So don't worry about it. Okay, now, because we're only working out 2 days a week for like 30 minutes, we need to burn some calories. The only cardio that works is walking, running, blah, blah, blah. If you want to look good, probably not best to do running and all MMA and all this stuff, right? What is your goal? The goal is to lose body fat and increase the way that you look, increase, the quality of your appearance. What's one thing you think you could do? And again, think about this. You do this. The idea is to make this something you can maintain. The idea is not for this to be a program. The idea is for this to be a routine that you can adopt and integrate in your lifestyle that can actually work long term. So what's something you do every day? You walk. What's something you do every day? You eat, right? We take the two things you're already doing, walking and eating, and we make those the foundations of the results. Well, guess what? You're going to get your results with things you're already doing. Only thing you have to add, 2 days a week, 30 minutes. But for most of you, you're probably actually going to end up taking away. So you're going to spend less time in the gym. You're going to spend less time doing all this bullshit. You're going to get more time and more results. And that's the beauty of this program. What the hell should I call this? What should I call this program?
Which one?
I'm not the busy freaking body blueprint. The busy shred. The 60-minute shred. That's it. 60-minute shred, man. This is the beauty of 60-minute shred. You just saw the name. SMS. It's SMS. Send you a text. 60-minute shred. That's the name. 60-minute shred. 32. That's the workout. 60-minute shred. 3-day FBA. Let's go. 60-minute shred, baby. I love it. I love it. Anyway. So the idea, again, is this program is going to add things. Or not add things, it's gonna subtract things from your life. So you don't have to add all this stuff. A lot of people think, oh, my routine, what do I need to add? Well, for the best routine, what do I take away? What are the key couple things? Resistance training, calories burn, so steps, nutrition. That's it. So we just went over the nutrition. We went over 2 days a week, 30 minutes, compound movements. Make sure that you're not decreasing in strength. So use movements that you can track. So I wouldn't recommend using a bunch of machines because machines vary in strength. You don't know. And a lot of people don't understand their intensity metrics well because, you know, they're just like, oh, I did it. You know what I mean? So if you understand strength numbers, like if you understand I do the incline dumbbell bench or I do the bench press, right? You're pretty familiar with your intensity metrics, your weight metrics in that area. Most people are. So that's why I like it as a staple of how you measure yourself, because if you're like, okay, well, my bench didn't decrease, then you know your strength numbers are good. So the third piece will be the nutrition aspect, right? So we have the steps, we have the training, the low volume training, the steps, okay? And then the last piece is nutrition. So, and they all integrate, okay? So let me walk you through this. So because nutritionally, we are not lifting that hard. 30-minute workouts. You're not going to need all these carbs, right? So what I always recommend, because the most important aspect of your, fat loss is the calorie deficit, you want to change your macros a little bit to optimize for that deficit, right? So if we think about it, my recommendation is always more protein, a little bit more fat than usual, because a lot of guys will say, oh, go 30% fat, a gram per pound, or even less than a gram per pound. And then the rest are carbs, because you need the carbs for this high volume training. A lot of the bodybuilder guys like carbs. But for bodybuilding, we're not trying to be mass monsters. That's what a lot of people forget. Like a lot of people are bodybuilders, so they give you a bodybuilder plan, but they give it to freaking Stan, the accountant. Like, not really realistic. So, or even me, to an extent, I like being jacked and huge, but there comes a time where I don't want to eat chicken and rice. I don't want to eat all these carbs, and I don't necessarily even want to eat every 2 hours. I don't want to eat all these meals because to an extent, I don't even like that. For me as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I don't want to wake up and eat a bowl of cereal. It freaking put me on my ass when I go back to bed. Most people will, especially, when we're thinking about production, right? The people this is for entrepreneurs. Lord, this is for people who are getting shit done, right? So nutritionally, that's who I gear this towards. People who want to look good, be efficient, be productive, right? And it's almost like James Bond, right? It's just 16-minute shred, man. It's James Bond type shit. Like if I had to give a program for James Bond, this is the program I'd give him. Look good, feel good, be good. Okay? So, nutritionally, let's think of what we're trying to optimize for. So the aspects of this program I call flexible fasting is the nutritional style. And it's a combination of intermittent fasting, flexible dieting, aka macros and calories and shit, and whole foods. So flexible fasting, so intermittent fasting, flexible dieting, whole foods. So the way that it works, number one, is it's flexible. So the big key is macros, right? We got to understand our calories, our proteins, and what we're optimizing for. So I was hitting on macros earlier. So just from the base macros, right? The macros are the most important piece. So even if you don't follow the dietary structure, the macros are going to be the hallmark piece of what we're doing. So macro wise, I actually bump it up. So I go, a gram per pound of body weight protein. I usually eat more because I freaking like protein. I like chicken, I like steak, I like fish, I like eggs, I like that stuff. I like egg whites, I like protein bars, protein shakes. That stuff's good. And then fat wise, I'll probably go 0.4 or 0.5. So I'll go more fat. Why? Because fat's satiating. You eat a steak versus you eat cod in candy or rice. You know what I mean? a big fatty piece of meat. It's going to stay in your stomach, digest slowly. And you add some nice fibrous fruits, some blackberries, some apples. That's where you really turn things up a notch, right? So the way that I do this, the structure of the day is flexible fasting. So you start the day with a fast, okay? So like a 4 or 5 hour fast. Why? Because I personally found that this is the best way to get the most important work you have to get done. So the way that I structure my day with this is I wake up 4 or 5 a.m., no food, coffee, some nicotine gum. So I guess you could say I'm taking something from like Andrew Tate right there, is when they say that actually is a routine that I enjoy, but I don't like the way some of these guys just do one meal a day, because I don't want to because by the end of the day, I honestly find that I get so hungry that I overeat. I was like stuffing my face. I don't like being that full. So the way that I do it is I do a morning fast, so about 5 hours, where I'll get all my most important stuff done. So I'll wake up instantly, no really routine, just wake up instantly, start working, okay? And I'll give you an example of a workout day, and then if it's not a workout day, then you just don't work out, you just keep working. So 4 or 5 hours of work, coffee, hydrate. And here's a little key tip why this is actually does work well. As another tip is it gives you time to hydrate. A lot of times you wake up in the morning, you want something sweet, it's because you're thirsty. So it allows you to give yourself time to truly fully hydrate, caffeinate, right? And the caffeine itself is appetite suppressant, so you hydrate, right? When you get hungry, start drinking your coffee. A little key tip: wait until you get really hungry to start drinking your first cup of coffee. Coffee will hit you like a fucking sledgehammer. And then you get hungry again, another cup, add some nicotine. You get the shit rolling. So by the time you get 4 or 5 hours of work done, you're on fire, mentally you're on fire, you're in the zone, you're locked in. And sometimes I can go all the way to 12, 1 p.m. Won't even be hungry, because you got those thick appetite suppressants. Maybe I'll crush a can of diet soda, some diet Pepsi, even more caffeine, little carbonation. And it gets my day rolling. I really enjoy it. But that's that first 4 hour fast. So the idea, if you're a guy that works, a lot of people don't want to wake up for work and make breakfast anyway, right? If they do, it's like, I want something quick, I just want to get rolling. So it actually ends up working out better, because it allows the guys that I work with that are business owners, or even me as a business owner, it's just the structure I found. Wake up, get the shit done, get into work, get the day task rolling, get the things going. And by lunch, by the time lunch rolls around, you have got all your really important stuff done. But okay, I got my work done, no more stress. You have to eat some lunch, and then the end of the day is where you can structure some meetings, right? And that's why I like it so much. It's like the first 4 to 5 hours of my day is purely working. What do I have to do? What are key actions I have to take? And then after lunch, a little bit of food in me, a little feeling good, maybe, a little bit, got some of my best effort out already. So it's like, okay, well, it's really going to be hard for me to keep that focused work going. So transition into meetings at this point, right after lunch. I'll have calls, I'll have meetings with clients, I'll do my check-ins with clients, I'll do this, that, and that. This the tasks that I have to do, as opposed to the real main key things. Transition into tasks, right? So lunch is the second part of this nutrition. So flexible fast, and I call it's a flexible fast, power lunch, and healthy feast is the 3 main aspects. So after we get that work done, that fast, transition into power lunch. So what this is the way that I structure my macros. Again, like I told you, it's about 50% fat, about 1 gram per pound of body weight, and then optional carbs. A lot of times you end up wanting carbs. So what I do is, if I'm gonna have carbs, I'm gonna make them fibrous carbs, like apples, blackberries, raspberries, that are gonna pair really well, satiety wise, with my chicken. Sometimes I'll do things like potatoes, but I'll tell you what, when you get into those stages of fat loss, you're gonna find yourself wanting that fruit. You're gonna find yourself wanting that fruit over starch, because your body's gonna want that glucose. It's gonna want something sweet. So fruit is a really good way to actually allow your food to digest longer if it's fibrous fruit, and it gives you that sweetness your body wants. Even sometimes it'll hydrate you up, even make you even less, hungry. And I find it's really good to pair with, protein sources like non-fat dairy, like Greek yogurt. Super good. After you know that feeling after you eat like a big piece of meat, you want something like bland, almost like soak up the oil. And fruit is that thing. I like it. And it's fructose, right? It's a combination of, what is fructose? It's a glucose, galactose, and I'm pretty sure, fructose. Yeah, fructose is one of like the main key sugars. And then they go together to like sucrose, and then it's, oh man, they got all like the sugar combinations. They're all the same thing, but it's like they bend at different places. I'm pretty sure it's like the chemical breakdown of them. But anyway, you have the power lunch. So macro wise, it's about 25% of your calories. So for me, I eat about 1,800 calories. And how do I know that? Take my body weight times about 12. I find it a good number. Why? Because if my BMR is like 1,500 and I times it by 12, body weight times 10 is BMR. So that's just my body burns every day. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, if you just eat at 10, then all movement is a deficit. Well, I don't want to be hungry as shit. So I'll body weight times 12. It gives me like 300 extra calories other than my BMR. 1,800 calories, times it by 0.25 is my lunch. So that's my power lunch, right? When I say power lunch, I mean fuel. And that's what people mess up. They treat lunch as, food. Like, oh, I'm just going to eat bullshit. Well, if you're trying to perform as well, right? Big thing, about this plan is not just diet, not just this, but, we want to perform at our best. So mentally, we want to power up at lunch. Especially if we got big shit. I got guys I work with that are investment bankers, man. You can't be eating a fucking sloppy Joe and expect to trade like a Wall Street millionaire. Like, it just doesn't go together well. So when we think of this power lunch, about 25% of our daily calories. So something light, right? Like, if you want to go eat a massive bowl of pasta for lunch and go try to sit back down at your desk, it's not going to work, right? Exactly. So point of this lunch is make it something quick, something light, something filling, something high protein. Keep us full until dinner, all right? Make sure we're satisfied, because a lot of guys will talk about, all day fasting, but I find the last couple hours of your day, work-wise, I tend to get antsy, and especially if I work from home, I'm a work-from-home guy, I get to those last 2-3 hours, I start trying to make excuses. I start cleaning shit. I start getting antsy. It's hard for focus. And some people, that's good. They can lock in, but I personally like to be a little bit I don't like to be full when I work, but I don't like to be like ravenous, because then you just go nuts once the food comes, right? Because if you get ravenous, then once the food comes, you'll actually tend to overeat, especially if you're in your kitchen. So sometimes it's hard. So what I would recommend, again, this structure is time tested. This structure works. You follow the structure to a T, you're gonna look like me. Shredded, diced, ballin', handsome, good looking. Maybe this workout will make me taller. That's what it needs to do for me. Yeah, I'm only 6'1", for those of you who've never met me in person. Anyway, the point of this, right, 0.25% of your calories. So 25% of your daily calories at lunch. So usually what I'll do here is I'll also make it 25% of my protein. So 1,800 calories, but my lunch is about 450 calories. If you wanted to do a third, you could do about 600 calories. I find 450 is good for me. Anyway, so lunch is going to be about 450 calories. And so it's about 450 calories for me and about 30-40 grams of protein, sometimes more, right? If you want to sit down at lunch and you want to have a nice piece of chicken breast and some fruit, something like that, like chicken breast, fruit, chicken breast, Greek yogurt, to me is great. Because like I said, carbs are optional, because we're not really doing hard workouts. I mean, the workouts are going to be intense, but you're not going to need like to fuel your carb load. Sometimes people get in that mindset, no, just overeat, because the idea is to get lean, not to fuel our workouts. Okay, so that's a key point to remember. Don't let yourself pull that excuse. A lot of people will pull that excuse and be like, I have to fuel for my workouts. You're making an excuse to eat more food when you know you shouldn't, okay? So, probably optional carbs. If it's a training day, you're going to burn a little bit more calories. So maybe you could pop, 200 calories. But what I would recommend, and let me get to this. So what I would recommend is a no carb lunch. So or a little bit, you could have Greek yogurt and meat is usually a great one, or just meat. Right, I find that one's great. Or meat and vegetables, or meat in a salad with no dressing. Something like that. Something nice and good. So a chicken salad is a great. And then it's that 25% calories for lunch. And then, so what we do is, let's say it's a training day. Let's say after we finish working is when I like to get my workout in, because right when you finish work, you're mentally burnt out. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe you got stuff going on. I find the best thing to signal work's done is a workout, right? Because when you hit that workout, for me personally, I can work out tired. I'd rather work out tired than try to work tired. So I'm a big proponent of evening workouts. I'm a really big fan of ending the workday with a workout. So after work, here's the thing. You add a little bit of extra calories, you're going to hit a workout. So you're going to have those extra calories ready. What I would recommend is you're going to be a little bit hungry because it's after lunch. It's been a couple hours after lunch. You got that gym. So what I'd recommend is either a protein shake to drink while you work out, which will limit your hunger. Because a lot of times if you don't have anything but water when you work out, you're going to end the workout really hungry because your body's I want fuel. But if you have something like a protein shake with skim milk during your workout, it's going to be about 200 to 250 calories. And it's going to give you a little bit of those carbohydrates from some of that skim milk, or maybe your protein's got a little bit of carbohydrates, or maybe you can put a little bit of, carb powder, maybe a little bit of honey in or something. You don't need to be it doesn't have to be honey. It can be just carbohydrates. It can be, a piece of candy. If you really want a piece of candy, do it before you work out. That'll be better, but not a fatty piece, like a sugary piece. And then here's a hack too. You can either do a protein shake, or you could have something like an apple or a banana or some berries, or maybe some Greek yogurt with some fruit as a pre-workout snack as you end the workday, which I find works really nice because I would say even you can do a combination of both. You could have an apple, and then you could have a leaner protein shake during your workout. And I find this to be just exceptional, right? You have that lean lunch, that high protein, lower carb lunch, have a little bit of fruit, have a protein shake while you work out. You're going to feel fueled up for the workout. You're going to have a great workout because you're fully recovered. And then you're also not going to be hungry after the workout because you have that protein, and you don't need a post-workout meal. You don't have to spend that time with a post-workout meal because you had a little bit of it while you worked out. So it's all the protein's already in your system, so you don't need it. So I'm telling you, the 60-minute shred system, man, this shit is dialed. This is my life's work, honestly. And the way this works, man, is you have that. So what I'd recommend, here's the day again. Wake up, morning fast, 5 hours, get your work done. Power lunch, 25% of your daily calories. Training day, have a little bit of fruit, have a protein shake, a little bit of fruit as you get ready, maybe on the way to the gym, on the drive to the gym. Have a lean protein shake, so not whole milk, chocolate milk. Don't bullshit yourself. Water or skim milk, or a pre-made Premier Protein and water while you work out. That's all you need. Done. After the workout, here's where we get to business. So the last part, so we have morning fast, power lunch, healthy feast. Last part of the day is where we have 75% of our calories or 50% of our calories, 75% of our protein. Okay? So this meal would be 100 grams of protein for me and about 900 calories. So about 1,000 calories, 900 calories, 75 grams of protein. So for me, this is going to look like a big chicken breast, a big, huge bowl of leafy green vegetables, some fruit, some yogurt, a nice, lean, healthy meal. Why? After work, after workout, in the evening is where you're going to want that food. So you could either try to have 4 of these little ass meals throughout the day and eat like a bird, or you could not eat in the morning, which most people don't want to. You're going to have to pick when you want to be hungry. If you're going to get in shape, pick when you want to be hungry. And I find being hungry in the morning is the best place to do it. So that's where I like to choose it. I like to just stave off my hunger with a nice lunch, stave it off a little bit more with a piece of fruit, make sure I'm not hungry after my workout with a protein shake. Then I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna shower up, I'm gonna get all ready for the day, and then I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna have a pretty nice sized healthy meal. And then I'm gonna do my nightly duties, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here is where we can have fun. So I'm gonna have 25% of my calories, so I'm gonna have 450 calories left over at the end of the day. I can either have those calories right after my last meal, so as a dessert, or my recommended form, I don't have anything after my meal, I just have my meal and I go on with my night. I get all the stuff I need to do done, night, blah, 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 nighttime, whatever it is you need to do. And then what I do is I have a massive bowl of frozen fruit, or just regular fruit, or like a pint of Halo ice cream with fruit. 450 calories of something like fruit is amazing. Because I'm an optional carb guy, I also, even though I'm an optional carb guy, I want some sweet shit. So I'd rather put all my carbs at the end of the day, right? Because these workouts aren't going to be that crazy intense. So I'd rather put my carbs at the end of the day. And I find it works best. So have that 450 calories, you have that frozen fruit, you kill it, you crush it. And that's like, 8 p.m. If I wake up at 5, I'm going all the way till about 10 or 11. Then I'm having my light lunch. I'm working all the way to like probably 4 or 5. And then I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to come home. I'm going to eat my meal. And I'm going to shower, blah, 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 whatever I need to do. And then right before bed, maybe I'll sit down, watch a movie, whatever it is I'm going to do that night. And I'll enjoy my nice big bowl of fruit. And I find that, enjoy that, brush my teeth, and I'll go to bed, no cravings, successful work day, and I successfully completed a nice big deficit, and assuming I got my steps in. So here's a hack too. So I didn't mention steps. So a hack stepwise that you can use as you probably noticed, I didn't include cardio. I have to get my steps in. I had to include, I get on the treadmill. Okay. Here's where this routine gets magical. Again, like I said, steps in nutrition. You already eat every day. You already walk every day. So we just have to do the 30 minutes of training. That's all we have to do. So how do we get the steps in? I'm taking a walk right now. But here's the thing. You can walk on the treadmill while you work. You can do this. This is one of my preferred methods. If you want to wake up and get a little bit of steps, I say 3K to start the day. You bump a little 3K to start the day. And by the end of the day, if you incorporate some of my tactics, like parking far away at the grocery store, parking far away at work, walking to lunch, walking around throughout the day, throughout your home, throughout your office, 3K, you hit 3K to start the day, and you incorporate movement throughout the day. So like if you do 3K to start the day, you get 3,000 steps, before you start your day, which is really about a 15-minute walk, nothing crazy. And then if you go anywhere, you park farther away and make sure that you get extra steps in, right? And you take a longer walk, or you walk to work, and you take a little 15-30 minute walk after dinner or something. You can get a couple steps in throughout the day, or you walk on the treadmill for a little bit after the gym or something. But again, we're only working out twice a week, so don't rely on the gym. Find things throughout your day where you can get these steps in, okay? So that is really the gist of the program, right? And it's all those things put together, right? The 2-day training, the steps, the flexible fasting, the perfect day structured around the workouts and the fuel, and fueling the correct way, and minimizing the hunger, and optimizing the sleep, which helps with the hunger, which helps with the training, helps the recovery, and helps with the fat loss, helps make more of it fat loss. You get the protein up, You get the fats up, which helps with the hormone drop from the body fat loss. And it all ties together, and it's so beautiful. And it's one of the most beautiful creations I've ever made, the 60-minute shred. And you incorporate the 3K to start the day, and you get the steps in, and you get the work in, and you become more productive, and you get lean. It's so easy to get low body fat, and you look better, and you have more energy, and you're just the man. And that's what this program is. It's literally the end-all be-all program. I've not found anything that just so seamless, works so well, and everyone that I put it on, it's just the ultimate lifestyle. It's the best routine in the world. It's amazing. Okay, let's get into some tips now. So that is the routine, from a bird's eye view. Obviously, if you want that routine applied to you and you want me to put it around your day, your structure, your goals, and do all that for you, apply below. We'll have a call, and we'll see if working together is a great fit. You've already heard about my magic system, and we can see if applying that system for you would be a good fit. We'll chat. So book a call if you want, or follow me on Instagram, and you'll see me tell you 1,000 times a day to book a call. Anyway, let's get into some tips. So that was the program. Let's get into some tips about the program. Tip 1, get walking shoes. Okay, so these are New Balance 1080s or 70s, whatever they are. Get nice walking shoes because you're going to be walking a lot, right? Tips. This works with travel, right? Why is this so good? You say you go to Europe. Wake up at the hotel, have coffee, walk around, have a nice little lunch at a cafe, maybe a croissant, maybe a little bit of fruit, maybe some pieces of ham, maybe some carpaccio, something like that. Maybe some beef tartare for lunch, something like that. Then you walk around some more. You go find a local gym, hit a 30-minute workout. You only need 2 day passes, $10. Find a local outdoor park, get your workout in. Easy. We're not trying to get swole, we're trying to maintain. And you have a nice dinner at a restaurant. You get a piece of meat, maybe a piece of bread, and then maybe you get some dessert at the restaurant, or you have wine or something instead. And you have all these tactics. A rule I might recommend is two for two rule. So 2 days a week you have 2 drinks. Other than that, try to limit it. And you have all these tips, and it works perfectly when you travel, like I just outlined. And you could, again, you're walking, so everything works seamlessly. Let's say you have something that's really busy. You can always move the workouts. 2 days, 30 minutes. You always have time for that. So you can never fall off because you're too busy. You can never fall off because you travel. You're never not going to walk. You're going to walk to some level. It's just how much do you walk? And again, the things like calorie deficit, the things like walking, it's a game of weekly averages, right? It's a game of steps per day. So how many steps should you get per day? Forgot to mention, about 10 to 14K, okay? 10K minimum, 12K great, 14K, you're a fat burning machine, okay? So when it all looks together, right, when we put all this together, 2 day training, 10 to 14,000 steps a day, body weight times 12 calories, a gram per pound of body weight protein, 0.4 to 0.5% of your calories are going to be your fats. The rest are from fibrous carbs like vegetables and fruits and blackberries and apples. And we put all this together, and you're not that hungry. You have the perfect day structure that like I just outlined for you. You have the perfect lifting structure, which complements the food, which complements the sleep, which complements the fat loss. It all comes together so perfectly. And this is the system that comes together so beautifully. And it complements your work. It complements your productivity. You're fasting in the morning, so your ultimate productivity, you get all of it done. You're powering yourself with quality nutrients, quality food. So you're improving your productivity. You're improving your testosterone. You're sleeping better. You're not overtraining. You're improving the quality of your diet, more fats, right? You're lowering your body fat, which is better for testosterone. You're improving the quality of your diet, which is better for testosterone. You're getting more work done, competitiveness. You're being the best version of yourself every day because of this. And the last maybe tip I'll put supplement wise. Supplements I'd recommend, the only 5 supplements that actually work. Protein powder. The first one is whey protein, isolate protein, blah, blah, blah. Quick acting protein. The second protein that works is casein protein, a slow protein. So the only time I would take that is if you, want it to stay in your system for a while. You don't want it to act fast. Like a whey protein is a post-workout or intra-workout. A casein protein is a like nighttime protein or like a meal replacement protein. So if you think about the ultimate meal replacement powders, it's casein protein and waxamase, which is a corn starch powder. So the ultimate post-workout or intra-workout is whey isolate and dextrose, or carb powder. So fast-acting proteins, glucose. And the ultimate meal replacement is casein protein, waxamase. So it's like a corn starch and a casein, so it's slow acting, slow digesting. The food versions, okay, would be something like, the food versions of whey and casein would be like, imagine whey protein like egg whites, boom, fast. And imagine casein protein like a steak, it's a while. Imagine regular carb powders like candy, quick carbs, fruit, quick carbs. Imagine waxamase like potatoes or pasta, slow digesting. That's the first supplement that works. Protein powders. The second supplement that actually works, multivitamins. Multivitamins do not add to your performance, they keep you from decreasing performance. Why? Because the deficiency of nutrients takes away from performance. So vitamins themselves do not add to performance, they stop a decrease in performance as a result of nutrient deficiencies. So that's why you want a multivitamin. Next, fish oil. Omega-3 fatty acids. It's going to be super important, super great for fat loss, because when you're decreasing your fat, body fat, you want those fatty acids every day to help provide your body with hormones. Like all your hormones are from fats. The daily processes throughout your body, your fats, and you support your fat tissues. Very, very pro tip here. If you take fish oil, you need to track it in your calories, because it's about 60-70 calories if you take fish oil as a supplement. Fucking super pro tip right there. I bet you didn't know that. But it is oil, so yeah, so take it. So 3 supplements so far that work. Protein powders, whey casein, multivitamins. Why? Because you just need to not be deficient in nutrients, because that's gonna fuck you up. Fish oils. Why? Support your hormones, support your health, your heart health, long-term health. Next, caffeine. Drink some coffee pre-workout. That's great. Last one. Drawing a blank here. Creatine. Okay, creatine is going to make you stronger. It's going to give you more output in the gym. It's going to allow you to do more, which is allow you to have more muscle, more strength. It's also going to be good for mental performance. So 5 supplements that actually work. Every other supplement is complete bullshit. Quote me on it. First, protein powders. Second, multivitamins. Third, fish oils. Fourth, creatine. Fifth, caffeine. If it's not in that 5 supplements, you're getting scammed, you're getting robbed. Quote me on it. I don't care how nice your supplements are. I don't care about your quality. I don't care about your brand. The only brands of supplements you should prioritize are the shit that makes it easier to take. Meaning it tastes good or it makes it taste good. So pro tip when it comes to supplements, taste good. Protein powders. Chips Ahoy, like Ghost Protein. Chips Ahoy, you get a fun flavor. Makes it taste amazing. It means you want to take it. And you don't dislike it. Secondly, gummy vitamins, gummy creatine, gummy multivitamins. Makes you want to take it. You have amazing tasting protein, amazing tasting gummy vitamins, amazing tasting creatines. You're going to take them. Third little hack with supplements. Do not take them when you're fasted. If you take a multivitamin when you're fasted, usually it upsets my stomach. It usually does. A little hack, if you take vitamins in the form of gummies, they're inside carbohydrates, inside some glucose. Put something in your stomach. So if you take a little hack, this is a hack from, you know you're hungry when your favorite snack is your gummy vitamins. But a little hack, if you take all your vitamins in the form of gummies, if you have that lunch, so you don't want to take it on an empty stomach, if you have gummy vitamins, gummy creatine, gummy multivitamins, then you can treat them as a little dessert post-lunch and give you a power-up boost for the rest of your workday, and you've taken your supplements pre-workout, which is the best time. So it's like, oh my gosh, this system, like it all literally complements. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Like it literally just goes, it's so good. I'm telling you, it's so good. Imagine this day. Wake up, morning fast, get your work done, coffee. You give that self that little break, wait till you're hungry, have the coffee, wait till you're hungry again, the nicotine and more coffee, and you keep working. And by the time you've worked, got all your stuff done, it's time for that healthy lunch, and you power up your day, really satisfy that hunger. You have healthy protein, keep you satisfied, full. You want a little bit something sweet after that protein, so you have a little bit of carbohydrates in your gummy vitamins that you need to take anyway. So you take your gummies, you take your other vitamins, you're fueled up, you're ready for the day. You get going into the end of that day, ready for that workout. You're a little bit hungry, so you have a nice piece of filling fruit like an apple to give you some carbohydrates, to give you some food, some sustenance going into your workout. You have a whey protein shake. It's going to fuel you up for your workout, make you not hungry after the workout. You're going to get home, you're going to have an amazing work day done, you're going to have an amazing workout done, you're not going to be hungry at all, you're going to get your shower, you're going to get everything done. And then it's time for your meal. And then you're going to have your meal. And you're going to be completely full and satisfied. And you're going to get whatever you need to do done. And then you're going to come back down. And you're going to have 450 calories left over because you had 25%, 50%. Big protein meal, you're fully satisfied. Now you want something sweet really bad. So what you're going to have, you're going to have a big, nice bowl of fruit, satisfy your sweet tooth, and you're going to end the night. You're going to go to bed and you're going to have an amazing sleep from an amazing day. And it all works together. And throughout the day, you started the day with maybe 3K steps. You got the steps in throughout the day. You parked away at the grocery store, and your life seamlessly worked because you followed this structure. And that's the structure, that's the plan. Other tips, maybe gym wise, have a set of adjustable dumbbells because then you can work out at your house. Other tips, maybe get some steps in after your meals. So like after dinner is a nice time to get some steps in. Maybe another pro tip is like, if you really like to work out right after the gym and you want to let your food hit you satiety wise, like filling wise, you can come home after the gym, drink lots of water before your meal. Maybe have a little bit of something like some bell peppers or some apples to really just like satisfy some of that hunger. And then you have your big meal, and then get your shower, and then do your nighttime routine, then do all this stuff. Then by the time it's like right before bed, then you eat your fruit. And then after you eat your fruit, go brush your freaking teeth, because then you're not gonna eat anymore. And then you're good to go for the rest of the night, and you're all good, you're squared away, you're ready to go. And that's the end of the night. And you can even eat that fruit while you watch a movie or something. End it off, ended a great day. Or even, think about this, you could even eat all your nightly carbs. You could have, think about 450 calories in rice cakes. You could have 3 sleeves of rice cakes. Holy shit. Wow. That's something I need to get the grocery store. But anyway, that's the routine, that's the structure. And that shit works, man. I mean, you're sitting here thinking, wow, Riley, this is amazing. You're so generous. I know. But here's the thing. I can tell you all this. And you know what? If you wake up tomorrow and you don't do it, you're being an FP. That doesn't stand for friendly pal. So what you need to do, if you really want to make sure you do this, you're going to book a call below. You're going to click on that link. We're going to chat it up. I'm going to do this for you if you want this applied to your life. I've literally changed the trajectory of people's lives by implementing this strategy, this program for them. It's amazing. It works. And, I've not found anything better. This has been it. This has been real. Hopefully this was very valuable for you. Peace. Have an amazing day. I'm rooting for you. Let's go. Follow me on Instagram if you're not going to book a call. If you're going to book a call, talk to you soon.